back. Everybody will be back in a second. No worries. We got it figured out, you guys. No worries. We're back. Everybody will start coming on back in here shortly. No worries. We're back. If you're catching this, there was a part 1 and the internet started acting crazy. We are back. No, we're back. So now we're on the phone. So no worries. I will just hold up the phone to the computer so you can see if there's something that I can share. Thanks, Curl. Thanks, Minnesota. We're back. Everybody will start coming back over. I don't know why my Wi-Fi starts acting crazy. I don't know. When I'm on Zoom, it never does it. Zoom is perfect. But when I get on the Wi-Fi, I don't know. Around here with the tax lien, you pay the past taxes. The auction goes in reverse. The person willing to take the lowest interest rate wins. Wow, Tony. Around here with the tax lien, you pay the past taxes, and the auction goes in reverse. The person willing, I know, that's what I need to do. Game of Cats, I don't know why it does this. When I'm on Zoom, it never does this, but I guess when I get on the Wi-Fi, it's a total different thing. Unplug the router. Oh, you said unplug the router. The person willing to take the lowest interest rate wins. Tony, I think I heard of that before. Like the person willing to take the lowest is the one. I think I've heard of that before. Somebody else was talking about. That's what it is. Try hardware instead of Wi-Fi. I'm going to look. Y'all got all the good things. I'm going to have to try something. Is there a redemption period for a tax deed? Yes, there are redemption periods on tax deeds and tax liens, right? It usually depends on how far behind the taxes are a lot of times. Like here in Tennessee, if they've been behind like years, then it's like a 30-day redemption. But if they just got behind or not, a couple of months or not months, but you know what I mean, a shorter period of time, the redemption period is longer. It could be like a year. I think the longest I've seen is about a year for the tax deed. Like I've seen like 30 days. I've seen 180 days. I've seen a year as a redemption period. And yes, with all things, you have to evict them if somebody lives there. When you buy it from me at the auction, you've got to evict the people if they live there. You have to you can offer them cash for keys. But if they don't take cash for keys, then you'll have to go to court and have them evicted for sure. That makes sense to everybody. So the redemption period depends on your state. I think it's maybe foreclosurelaw.org. Foreclosurelaw.org. I think that's where you can find your redemption period. Try that site. Soft foreclosure in Charlotte would never finish because people would use the 7-day upset period to extend it forever. Now in New Jersey, and notice they play different here, it looks like. And Carl, I think it just depends on where you live. You know what I mean? Everybody's got different rules. Would never finish because people would use the 7-day upset period. What's that, girl? What do they do? Like, what's the 7-day upset period? Like they would come back within 7 days of the auction or something? Is that what that is? Y'all know I do sales at the courthouse. And I live in Shelby County. There is no redemption period in Shelby County on trustee sales. So once I sell your house, it is sold. I live in a city, no redemption period. We also are a non-judicial state. So if you get behind here in Memphis, hey, Avriel. Everybody say hey to Avriel. She's in Austin. Wish her luck on, she's auctioning off. How many properties you got on Tuesday? 35 properties down there in Austin area. We'll see if any of them sell, girly. I was going to say, here in Shelby County in Memphis, we are a trustee sales. There's no redemption period, and we are a non-judicial state, right? So once you get behind on your mortgage 3 months or however long, your lender can file that notice of default and take your house in 30 days. They can do it unless you call and figure it out. They can take your house in 30 days. We're non-judicial. You don't go to court here. And no redemption period on trustee sales. So once I say going once, going twice sold, you cannot come back and redeem your house. Trustee sales in Shelby County. So, because all I got to say is that they don't really care about us. I feel like Shelby County, Memphis used to be like ranked #1 for Wall Street Journal as the #1 investor playground for rentals, because we have such a, our real estate is super cheap, right? Here you can get like a great, and 60% of our city rents, right? 60 with a 60. Hey, Kia. 60% of our city are renters. So investors love coming to Memphis, buying up rental properties and renting it out to people. That's what people do. Y'all know the National Guard here. The National Guard is here in Memphis, you know what I mean? Because we are always at the top of the list for crime. We are always up there. Okay, Missouri is also investor friendly. Okay, so it's like St. Louis, right? Okay, so they would go back after the live auction and the file on paper a new upset bid. It would reset the clock to another 7-day and another. And I was like, how come nobody even comes to the live first? Okay, I'm reading with you, Curl. And then you go to the clerk's room at the courthouse, and then there be these going to scavenging the books and placing upset bids. Oh, they doing some, Curl, I don't know what y'all got going on down there. Curl, they doing something different down there. You just go talk to the homeowners and try to save them. That's what you need. That's the route you need to go. Kia, everybody say hey to Kia. She was on here last night. She just got her first $1 million listing up there in Virginia. In Virginia, we're going to send you good vibes. You're going to get it sold for the full asking price. And you're going to get many, many more $1 million listings after that one. I'm trying to refinance. What percentage will I get today? Also, how's the National Guard taking care of them criminals? Baby, Fanny, they down here. It's quiet since the next. So here the National Guard, I've heard, I'm legit, right? So I'm not worried about that. They are stopping people like, okay, so we have a horrible problem here in Memphis with people with drive-out tags, like stolen cars, fake drive-out tags. Boom. That's how we rolling down here, right? So they're stopping everybody with a drive-out tag. If you don't have license, registration, insurance, boom, they stopping everybody. So the streets are quiet. The streets are quiet. It's quiet here, you know what I mean? Which I'm thankful for, to be honest, if I'm going to have to be honest. So everybody staying at home, I guess, or off the streets, right? So, you know, some people are upset about it. Some people are for sure upset that the National Guard is here, right? But, I mean, everybody's getting tired of their stuff being broken into and stolen and all that kind of stuff. So it is what it is, right? So what was I going to say? I'm with you, Kia. Sending out my letters out for, come on, Francisca, sending out your letters. That's what I'm talking about. Francisca, I love that for you. And I hope everybody calls you back. I know you're going to lead with love and you're going to help them as much as you can. And a couple of them will say that they want to sell, Francisca, and you got them. And you're going to save them from a tough situation. I know I've had 2 vehicles stolen. So, I mean, people are like, they're targeting the wrong people. They're stopping people who don't have tags. They're stopping people. But they've stopped people that don't have tags and discovered that they've got warrants, right? They pulled over a guy last week who they have been looking for 2 years for a shooting that happened years ago, like a murder from a couple years ago, right? And that's what they're saying. They're like, they're helping if you don't have tax, license, insurance, like there's no even record of you. So it's hard to find people who, you know, who you're looking for because everybody driving around on bogus tags, no license, no insurance, you know, just riding around invisible out here. So, you know, you just got to get legit, right? But I'm not discounting the fact that I know people don't have jobs, people don't have money, they can't afford certain things, right? But y'all know what I'm saying. So what impact do you think the proposed new rules around Section 8 will have in property investing? Cynthia, what we got going on with Section 8? With the people can only be on it for 2 years, right? They can only be on it, is it 2 years? And they've got to work 40 hours? Are those the new Section 8 rules? I think it is. Is that what, I think that's what I heard. How do I feel about it? Y'all know sometimes my opinion is not everybody's opinion. You know what I mean? Y'all just come over here to hear me rant on my opinion. I feel like with asking me because you know when I start looking off, that means I'm trying to come up with the right words so it comes out right. Because sometimes in my head it sounds one way, and then when I say it, it's like, damn, that was harsher than I thought it was gonna be, right? Very sorry, I do not believe a lot of what's coming out in various mediums at this time. Actually, positive, I will bring desire. So I think as far as like the Section 8 thing, I think some people need Section 8, right? Some people need it to get on their feet. But do I think it's a lifelong program? I don't think it should be a lifelong program. You know what I mean? Especially for able-bodied people. I think some people take advantage of the situation, for sure, right? You let somebody slide, they're going to start cha-chaing, right? So it needs to be rules and regulations around that, for sure. You know what I mean? Now, I definitely think we should help elderly people. I definitely think that. But I think everything within reason. We need to put some guardrails on some things. You know what I mean? So, and I think if you got the ability to work, right? Go to work, right? You know what I mean? That's kind of like, or invest or do something, or, you know what I mean? I feel like, y'all know what I'm saying. No, some people to rent only to certain segments. Like, so do you think the rules will change how people invest? No, some people to rent only to certain segments, like Section 8. Do you think the rules will change how people invest? No, some people rent only to certain segments. Oh, like, so investors who only rent to Section 8 people, do you think this rules will change how people invest? Like, that's me. That's my thinking face, for sure. I think Section 8 is a valid income source for investors, right? I think if you have the properties right, if you can, well, I don't even know if you get to screen your tenants, but I think I like all investments, right? If you were an investor who does Section 8, do that. You know what I mean? I think I'm trying to answer your question the best way, Cynthia, that I can. But is it the rules now you got to work 40 hours and you can only be on it for 2 years? It can't be all or none. Teach financial irresponsibility. Take care of the disabled and elderly. Yeah. Because some people just get on it and stay, right? Like, some people work the system. There was a lady talking about, a lady came in for a job and she called her and offered her the job. And I think it was paying like $75,000 to start off. And the lady rejected it because she's like, if I take this job, they're going to cut my Section 8 off, right? Because I'll be making too much money to qualify for Section 8. But that goes back, you guys, to mindset, for sure, right? That goes back to mindset, for sure. If your mindset is, I'm not going to take an entry job of $75,000 because I don't want to lose my assistance, right? Most of us would be like, that's a no-brainer, for sure. Let me do this. I can move up. Let me work. Let me get off. But that's mindset. That goes back to, you know what I mean? Some people live in that survival mode their whole life. That's all they've seen. Y'all, I don't judge people. Like, I don't judge people. Hey, Danita. Because a lot of people, I used to do property management, right? I used to work property management in some hood apartments in Memphis, right? Property management, hood. And you would see, like, mamas in there with, like, their 6 or 7 kids, right? Getting government assistance, and then they would, I know some of them only rent to income restricted, and was just wondering if those investors could be hit by the news. They could be, Cynthia, you know what I mean? And no, Cynthia, I don't mind sharing my personal views. But though it was that, you know, they were in there living with 6 and 7 kids. And I remember there was one mama in there and her daughter had just turned 16, right? And those will be the mamas being like, you need to go ahead and have a baby so you can get government assistance. You know what I mean? At 16, like, you're telling your kids, like, this is their hustle, right? Our hustle is like real estate and investing. Their hustle is have babies and stay on the system and get as much of a check as you can get, right? That's like a difference in mindset, right? So, no, Cynthia, all good. You know, I get off all the time. But Section 8, you know what I mean? Again, you let somebody slide, they gonna cha-cha, right? That's what they're gonna do. But I think there does need to be some parameters around that. For sure, for sure. You know? Um, for sure. It needs some parameters. But for sure, take care of our elderly, like he has said. I think we should take care of our veterans. I hate to see veterans be homeless. I hate to see homeless veterans. That like breaks my heart every time I see that, because I'm like, y'all went to war and came back and we didn't even take care of you. You know what I mean? So take care of the ones that need to be taken care of. But it's a lot of people who just misusing and abusing, you know, things that they get. You know what I mean? When you see people on TikTok bragging that they got like $2,500 in food stamps and we not going to work and I got all, you know what I mean? Like, some people, it needs to be some guardrails on some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Actually, I have a few questions. I had a pre-foreclosure transaction some years back. The property was short sold to a buyer. Okay, I'm following you. I enjoyed the tedious process, but I want to make sure I'm on the right track. I'm following you, Francisca. We all following you. Tell the story, girl. Tell it. I have a few questions. I had a pre-foreclosure transaction some years back. The property was short sold. So they were in foreclosure, and they ended up short selling. I'm with you. I'm with you. Keep the story coming. We following you. I'm a property manager. I see women with babies with Maria. I live in Memphis, baby. I live in Memphis. Let's keep going. Maria, keep telling the story. Not Maria, Francisca, keep telling the story, and we're gonna help you through it. Let's go real quick. I'm gonna turn my screen around, and then we'll look at some auction properties real quick. Any recommendation about property auctions, like where to go? Do you file for bankruptcy? I'm on the right track. Hold on, Francisca. You lost me on do you file for bankruptcy? I have a few questions. I had pre-foreclosure transactions some years back. The property was short sold to a buyer. And then what happened? So y'all short sold. Well, who would file bankruptcy? Francisca, talk to me about who would file bankruptcy in this situation. Are you trying to file bankruptcy to stop the auction, to stop the foreclosure? If you're doing a short sale, you got to call them and let them know you're going to try to short sell it, and then they'll postpone that auction usually. Avriel, how many days you got to have to do a short sale? 37 days. You need 37 days to do a short sale if they're in foreclosure. Does the seller need to file bankruptcy in order to short sell it? Is that what you're asking me, Francisco? He didn't have 37 days to, because a lot of times if you do a short sale, if the bank is granting a short sale, that'll postpone that auction, right? If they're letting you initiate a short sale and agree to that, that'll postpone that auction. What is the steps to short sale in Texas? Your agent has to initiate it. An agent has to initiate a short sale. Got to show a hardship. You got to show a hardship. If you're short selling, if you do not know what a short sale is, you guys, it's when you're upside down on your house. You're upside down. You owe more on your house than it's actually worth, right? So it's a lot of people in foreclosure who are also upside down, right? They're behind on their mortgage. There go Avriel. She'll hop in there. Avriel is short sale queen, and she in Texas. Look, Avriel gonna answer the questions that I can't get to. But that can absolutely happen. If you just bought your house, like I said, a lot of the auctions, a lot of people in foreclosure that we're seeing right now just bought in 2020. So they owe that whole loan, right? And the market has cooled off. Interest rates stayed high for so long. Buyers have kind of pulled back a little bit, and these home values have started coming down, right? Where everybody's reducing, where most of us live, everybody's reducing. So, there go, Avriel, thank you. The good thing about real estate is your home value is dependent on the houses around you, right? So when they're selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars over, you get that good equity. Vice versa, though, your home value depends on the houses around you. So when everybody around you is lowering your price and you're like, I just paid $400,000 last year, 2 years ago, y'all can't sell for $350, and they can sell for $350. And then all your neighbors start selling for $350, $360, $375, and you paid $400. Is your house still worth $400? Not when all your neighbors are selling for $350. It's not, 9 times out of 10. So that's how somebody could be upside down, right? And they just bought, okay? I'm asking because my previous broker had the seller to file bankruptcy to stop the short sale. You mean to stop that auction? They filed bankruptcy. Usually. Now, maybe if they weren't. So you do have to have at least, 37 days to file a short sale. So if your auction is scheduled for Tuesday and you call the bank and say, I want a short sale, they're going to say, no, you don't have enough time, 9 times out of 10. Or you can escalate it up and see if they'll give you some time. But usually 37 days is the limit, right? I knew what you meant, Francisca. 37 days is the amount of time the bank gives you to do a short sale if you're in foreclosure, right? Hey, Clark, come on in here from Georgia. So, but usually once that bank initiates a short sale or lets you do a short sale, they'll stop that auction. They'll postpone your auction. Now, maybe in this situation, y'all didn't have enough time. Like the bank was not approving that short sale because that auction was too close, and then your brokers told him to file bankruptcy. You know what I mean? And I mean, I guess that could also help prove that hardship for a short sale too. But my point is, Francisca, next time that happens, that bank usually will postpone it if they let you initiate a short sale. If they give you short sale approval, they'll postpone it for you. So maybe he just didn't have time, and that was his way of stopping that. Buying you some more time was him filing bankruptcy. So for everybody coming in here, bankruptcy will stop an auction. There's been times I've been walking up to the courthouse and they'll call me and say, the homeowner just filed bankruptcy, auction is canceled. You can file bankruptcy that morning and cancel your auction. So maybe that's what it was, Francisca. A short sale is an alternative to foreclosure, and you sell for less than what's owed. So a short sale, which, okay, I'm with you on, it can be an alternative to foreclosure, right? Because you're basically telling the bank, I can't give you all my loan, but let me pay you something. I'm going to be short on what I owe you, right? Most of the time it's outside the assignment, so you also need an offer to stop the auction. Got you. Avriel is our short sale queen down there. Kia, the BPO queen. Yes. So you're basically asking the bank, hey, I know I owe you $400,000, but will you take $350? Will you take $325? And it's a process. They're going to send appraisers out there they're going to send somebody out there to appraise it, to look at it, all that kind of stuff before the bank. And the bank's going to want you to put it on the market. You got to put it in MLS, and try to sell it. But it's basically you asking the bank to take less than what's owed on the house. Yes. And that can stop, that can avoid foreclosure too as well on that. Does that initially impact the credit? And how does funds disperse at closing? Agents get paid. Look, Dominique, agents get paid. Homeowners do not. Homeowners do not. But that's, I've heard of that, Tony. I've heard that sometimes they send them a tax form for the difference. Avriel, do they get like a 1099 for the difference? If they, short the bank, it helps get the foreclosure on your credit. It helps get the foreclosure. So, I don't even know what I was about to say. I lost my whole train of thought. Does that initially impact the credit, and how does funds disperse at closing? So like I said, yeah, it does hit your credit. Yeah, for sure. It hits your credit, the short sale. But a foreclosure going to hit it real hard too. You know what I mean? At least you don't have that foreclosure sitting on your credit. Bank agents get paid. I know the last short sale I did, it was 6%. All the agents get paid. The seller does not get paid. The seller doesn't get paid. I don't know, Avriel, are they giving like the seller any kind of allowance if you ask for it? My seller did not get any money at closing. Because there was no equity. You know what I mean? When you get paid at closing, when a homeowner or a seller gets paid at closing, it's the equity out of the house. We're short selling, so there's no equity for the homeowner to get any money, right? So it's just a way to avoid foreclosure. Like he said, right, Brian said, yeah, an alternate to foreclosure. So, yeah, your seller didn't get any money. Most of them don't, but they do pay the agents. Some lenders will give a relocation amount. I've heard that if you ask for it, I think it depends on the lender. Oh, come on, Clark. We're twins tonight. We're twins. Hop on the live. You want me to conference you in? um, so yeah, my seller did not get any money. And the only thing that saved him was that he was a veteran and it had a moratorium on it, so they didn't foreclose on him. I worked with the bank and asked for a waiver deficiency. What's that? What is that, Avery? What's a waiver deficiency? Thank you. The loans look at debt to income ratio up to 54%. I think that's predatory. Y'all know they were talking about it. Some lender out here. I found the D.R. Horton article. We can talk about that. There's some lender right now. What are they going? What are they sitting at rate 6.5 right now? You know they only dropped it that much. You know what I mean? And so now people are refinancing. I don't think it's a lot of people buying, but it's people trying to refinance. But one lady said that it only lowered, she refinanced, well, was about to, and it was only going to lower her payment by $150, but she was going to have to bring $16,000 to the closing table to refinance. Y'all know they're denying 40% of refinances, denying 40% of refinances. So everybody who was told to date the rate and marry the house up a creek without a paddle right now. I think they're about 6.6 or 6 point something right now. What was I going to say? You know, there's this lender. I don't know who it is, but they were reviewing his books, and like 50% of his is 6.4. 50% of his clients defaulted on their first payment. 50% of your clients default on their first payment means you are not approving them correctly. So he is a big red flag for sure. They didn't say who the lender was, but 50% of your clients defaulting on their first payment, that lets you know you did not qualify them well enough. So, okay, here we go. Let me turn the screen around. We're going to do like we did last night. We are back on Warren Tracker, everybody. Warren Tracker. And it tells you companies that have filed Warren notices, the company name, the notice date. Oh, this is November 23rd. Oh, and then their layoff date. So they're laying off 51 to 100 people. It lets you know. So it shows you, and then you can click on the map, which is what we always go to, which is what we looked at last night. And you can see, we looked at last night. Oh, y'all, the number updated since yesterday. Y'all, the number updated. Y'all, what was the number last night? Y'all, everybody who was on here last night, what was California's number last night? 60,000. Last night, California, if y'all go back and watch the live from yesterday, this said, didn't it say 60,000? Yeah, it said 60,000 last night. How we jumped to 1.2 overnight? Oh, y'all, I'm looking at y'all. I'm on 1988 to 2020. Hold on, y'all. I was like, hold on. Sorry, y'all. Like, hold on, y'all. This can't be right. This can't be right, y'all. Okay. Okay. There we are, y'all. I had it all from 1988 to 2025. I was like, the government shut down, people. Okay. I was like, that was just yesterday. Okay, y'all. I had it from 1988 to 2025. Okay, y'all. We're here. Back to the number. 60,000. Okay, let's all get our lives together. Especially me. On your short sale transaction, can you create an LLC for the law? Oh, okay. You talking to Abriel. She talking to Abriel. I think Francisca talking to you, Abriel. So, California has laid off 60,000 people all year. Let's see. Texas. Thank you, Tommy. Because I was like, ain't no way it says 60,000 yesterday, and today it's 1.2. We were looking from 1988. Texas has laid off 14,000. Where are we at? Illinois has laid off 9,000. Our good old friend in Florida laid off 12,000 so far this year. April, New York, 11,000. Can y'all see this? And you can click and see how many have been laid off. Georgia, how many y'all got in Georgia? 10,000. Y'all, you know these people bought houses. A lot of these people moved across the country for a job and then got laid off. What did I say last night? If a meeting pop up on your calendar, if a meeting pops up on your calendar with HR, y'all just go and bring your boxes and go and clear out your cubicle. Get your little flower pots and your little frames and you get your little house mat off the ground and just go and go to the house. You know what I mean? If it was me, I'd be like, just call me. I don't have to come in. Just send me a text and tell me how much severance I'm going to get. I don't have to come in. But when you see that meeting pop up, you already know what it is. So this is warntracker.com. You guys, warntracker.com. Look, Francisca, I'd be like, just send me an email. This can be a text message. I don't have to come in. Just lock my little username and password on out. That's okay. So, okay, so Warren Tracker, that's that one. So y'all can check this site out. It does let you know who was laying. Not the Children's Hospital laying off. Not the children. So, but it lets you know who's laying off. Microsoft laying off. But it's a good site. I kind of watched this one and Daily Job Cuts just to see what's going on across the country. Because when layoffs come, y'all, if you watch TikTok, people are like, I applied to 100 jobs and nobody called me back. I went for my 3rd interview and nobody called me back. You know what I mean? So, exactly. That's what I say. Send me my final check. We don't even have to talk about it. Just send it to me. We don't even have to talk about it, honestly. I know what this is because HR has never been on a meeting with me before. Get your little box and get your little Tupperware out the refrigerator. Get your little flower pots and your little picture frames. And you go to the house. That's what you do. So, let's talk about what's coming up on the auction block next week. A big auction for a lot of people across the country. The first Tuesday of the month. The first Tuesday of the month. I pulled some properties we can look at, you guys. Lots in Georgia. If you're in Georgia, go to the auction. If you need some buyers, go to the auction. Some back-end buyers. If you want to meet some investors, go to the auction. You know what I mean? If you want to start bidding at the auction, go to the auction and just get in the environment of being at the auction. You know what I mean? It's free. It's open to the public. There's no cover charge like you go into the club. Just going in there. You know what I mean? Just don't bid if you don't have any coins. Just keep your mouth shut. But then you can see how many people are at the auction. You can see how high the bids bid up, how quickly they get bid up, you know. Hold on, was that the end or I just started clicking too much? Hold on. There we go. Y'all know me. I'm trying to hold the phone and scroll at the same time. So there's some LA. Y'all look at all these people. Houses up for auction. Send them good vibes because can you imagine, everybody? Think about that. I'm going to go back to the screen. It is Sunday night. It is literally Sunday night. And you know that your house is going up for auction on Tuesday or tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it's some people right now, like, depressed where they are right now. So I hope they get it worked out. I hope they get it figured out. Banks are working with people if you call them. If you call them, they will work with you. Maybe not Mr. Cooper, but a lot of these banks will work for you. So everybody just take a moment and realize how grateful you are right now, because it's a lot of people, and not even just these people. You know, it's people everywhere losing jobs, houses, can't pay their bills. You know what I mean? Just sometimes you just have to stop and be thankful for the things that you do have. You know what I mean? That we take for granted a lot of times, right? A lot of times we complain about paying bills, but at the same time we be like, thank you, God, I can pay my bills, right? You know what I mean? You might not have a lot of money left over, but thank you, God, I can pay these bills, because there's a lot of people who cannot. You know what I mean? So you might not have everything you want, but a lot of us, you know, still are able, still blessed, still grateful. Y'all didn't know I was going to preach today, did you? Y'all didn't know y'all was going to go to church today on this live, did you? But my point is, when you look at this whole list of hundreds of people, right? Can you imagine what these people are doing? Half these people got kids, right? And they don't know. That's what I try to teach in our mentorship, right? Like, we talk so much about, I need, like, Ashley, pick a side. You gonna turn it around or you gonna turn it on your face, We talk so much as an industry about how to buy a house, how to get qualified, how to fix your credit, all that kind of stuff, how to be a homeowner. We talk so much about that, but we do not talk about what happens when you cannot pay your mortgage. Nobody talks about that, right? And so nobody knows what to do when they can't pay their mortgage, except walk away from the house, right? Except, I talk to people all the time, and Kia and Avriel can attest to that. People are, I'll give y'all the website. You talk to homeowners all the time, call you crying in all kinds of different head spaces. You know what I mean? But as an industry, I think we should do better on educating people on what to do when they can't afford their house, right? Because most agents, I'll stop talking to your homeowner as soon as you cash that commission check, right? So, and then people don't know. I've talked to a lady before, and I always say this, I talked to this lady 30 minutes. She was in foreclosure. I said, call the bank and ask for a modification. Ask for a modification. That lady called me back and said, what was the word you just said that started with an M? What was that word? I'm like, modification. I'm going to text it to you, right? And then I'm going to text you what you say, and this is what you do. People don't even know what to do when it comes to going into foreclosure, right? You got options. I had one man, he was like, we just going to leave tonight before they come. I'm like, before who come? He was like, before they come, we're going to go and leave tonight. I'm like, sir, there is nobody coming to your house tonight to put you out your house. I know you're behind on your mortgage. I know you're in foreclosure. I know you have an auction scheduled, but nobody is coming to your house to put you out your house, right? People don't know that, though, right? Because we don't educate people on what happens when you can no longer afford your house. So, I told him, I said, sir, nobody coming to put you out your house. And I was like, I know I just lowered your blood pressure. And he was like, you sure did. He was about to take his pregnant wife, and 3 kids to a hotel because he was like, we're going to go on and leave before they come. I'm like, who coming? He was like, before they come, sir, nobody's coming to your house to put you out of your house. So, I try to educate people. I try to remind people to get their surplus funds and their overages and their, what's the other word for it? Excess funds. You know what I mean? I try to remind people because people don't know, and your lender in your bank is not going to call you to tell you to come get your money, right? Because if your house goes up for auction, I say this at the end of every video that I do. If your house goes up for auction, don't forget to request your excess funds, right? What are excess funds? What did I say? The opening bid at the auction is your loan balance. So if your loan balance is $100,000, right? That's the opening bid, $100,000. And let's say it gets bid up to $200,000 because it's a great house. Everybody wants it. And it gets bid up to $200,000. Once the bank clears their $100,000 that you owe them, the homeowner is entitled to those funds right there, that $100,000. But is the bank going to call you and tell you to come get your $100,000? Not ever in life, right? They're not going to call you. They're just going to have Christmas bonuses on your overage funds, right? They're just going to have a potluck that's catered on people's money. But people don't know to go get their money, right? I had a lady email me, and she was like, I watched your video, and that lady had a $60,000 check waiting on her. She did not know. She said, I saw your video, and I called, and I had a $60,000 check because she had lost her house in foreclosure, right? Give them people their money. Give those people their money. You know what I mean? Avriel helped a lady. That lady had $180,000 in overages. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't know to go get their money. And the bank is not going to call you and tell you to come get your money. Trust and believe. They will not. And Avriel said they make you jump through hoops to get your money. Well, we all just going to be jumping through hoops. Because if you owe me $60,000, $100,000, well, you just call me a hoop jumping girl today. Because I'm going to jump through them to get my money. Which is ridiculous, honestly. You know what I mean? Banks should be allowed to. Banks should. Right. They should absolutely. But you know, a bank. You know, banks, when you talk about what they never should do, they're going to start never, never, and like never before. So, okay. Back to auctions, you guys. It just hit me in that moment. Y'all, here, you guys, here's the MK Consultants. And you click on trustee sales. I hope y'all can see that. Hold on, let me scroll down to the bottom. It's MK Consultants. If I was on the computer, I could drop it in the chat. But if you just go to MK Consultants and then click on trustee sales and then scroll down. Also on this site, you guys, you can see past sales, right? From like last week down here. And it'll show what the opening bid was, what it sold for. See over here, this is last week's. It'll show if it's sold. Now, everybody, if they're new here, this row is the opening bid, right? PP means postponed to October 10th. Canceled, CXL means canceled. This is the opening bid. This is what it's sold for. If this number and this number is the same, it did not sell. It went back to the bank and became a what, everybody? What does it, if the properties don't sell at auction and revert back to the bank, what do we call those? I should start seeing it here shortly in the text. There we go. Thank you, Danita. Thank you, Scorpion. Thank you, Avriel. There you go. REO properties. So, properties are not selling. That didn't sell. Let's see if anything sold. None of these sold. That didn't sell. That didn't sell. This one sold. Was this my property? Mine sold last week. Yep. Mine sold for like $1 over. This one sold for $1 over. But most of these postponed. Lots of postponements. Didn't sell. Didn't sell. They going back to the bank. Thanks, everybody. Y'all know what it is. REOs. That's right. Y'all do listen to me, don't you? So that's how you read this. Now, if the number is different, that means that it's sold. But none of these, they didn't sell. They're not selling at auction. They're not selling at auction. And banks know this. These properties are not moving at auction. Did any of these sell? Nope, nope, nope. Postpone. Nope. Heck, did anything sell but mine? Was I the only thing that sold last week? Was I the only one that sold last week? No, I feel like my property was the only thing that sold last week. REO in Spanish means prisoner? Really? Oh, wait. Is this market giving 2028 crisis? 2008 crisis? Is that what you... Oh, it's going to be 2028? We'll see. I definitely think we are... I knew what you meant, Dominique. I definitely think... You know, in the new... Look, I know y'all like, Ashley, just get to the point. But y'all know I'm going to always take the scenic route to answer a question. You know when a hurricane coming, right? And the conditions are ripe for a hurricane. Y'all know what I mean? I would definitely say the conditions are ripe is what I would say. Did you not get it? I got you. We've just got so much going on in our market. Somebody put it in the chat. Look, somebody put it in the chat so y'all can see it. The conditions are, we just got so much going on in the real estate market. I think we've got millions of people behind on their mortgage. Millions of people behind on their mortgage. I would say I'm in the camp that believes we have at least, can y'all see MK Consultants? I'm trying to adjust it. You got it? Okay. I'm in the camp that says we have at least, I'm going to say 8 to 10 million people behind on their mortgage right now. We got so many people who have not paid since COVID. I know a lot of people are like, we got about 5 to 6. Y'all, 10% of FHA loans are in default. 10% of FHA loans are in default in years who have not paid. Mixed with just everything, these high interest rates, people getting laid off from their job. You know, commercial real estate is in the tank right now. So Ashley, would you be my neighbor? How much is it on the beach for $22.17? I would just say the conditions are ripe for something to happen. Now, is this administration gonna jump in and save people? What do y'all think? I mean, I don't feel like this administration is into saving anybody. You know what I mean? Like, and I knew that when it came between who was in office. One party is more about helping, giving handouts, doing stuff like that. This other party, you know what I mean. They're not about giving handouts. All this assistance has dried up. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not in the business of bailing people out. I feel like unless it got bad, you know what I mean? I think this government shutdown is going to last for a hot minute, right? I know some of these jobs are going to be leaving. So, I don't know. And I know you were like, Dominique is like, it's 2008. It's going to be 2026, you know what I mean? Whatever that looks like. You know, we've never had COVID before, right? We've never stopped a whole branch of our real estate. We've never stopped foreclosures for like 3 years. You know what I mean? We had a moratorium that stopped foreclosures, right? We really haven't started foreclosing on people like how we usually foreclose on people. You know what I mean? We got people just sitting, waiting, can't pay. So I would say the conditions are ripe. I would say that it's in your best interest to make sure you're in position to buy, right? That's what I would say. But I don't know, like how these REOs, like banks, I don't know, right? I think we're going to see some REOs for sure. Y'all know I just got certified as an REO agent. But I don't know. I know they're going to sell some to hedge funds. We already know that. We already know they sell bundles of houses to hedge funds, right? We know that. But I think some of them are going to come down the pipe down here to us. Okay, I know y'all like, Ashley, what are you thinking in your head? In my head, I'm like, these banks like have loaned out money and people can't pay them. You know what I mean? So they're like, what are they supposed to do right now? And they know they're not selling it all. So their route is like, maybe we can discount them and sell them to hedge funds, you know? And they had the Spanish flu, then the Roaring Twenties, then the Great Depression. They did. It's about time. Y'all know what I'm saying? It's about time. Our last one was, 2008? We had the .com. We had the 2008 housing market crash. You know, everybody's like, it's not 2008. You're right. It's 2025. It's 2026, right? No housing downturn is ever the same. You never have the same reason that the market goes on, right? It's always some different factors or something happens, right? So we've never had COVID, right? The commercial market is in the trash right now. Jobs are leaving, right? Layoffs. Layoffs. That's going to hurt some people. You know what I mean? And people not being able to work and find jobs and get a new job, right? Think about people who bought houses based on their income, their job. You lose a job. Even if you find another one, it's probably not going to pay as much as your other job. We went through a whole... taxes and property taxes are getting reassessed. Avriel, I talked about it last night. She on here. Avriel's mortgage went up $600, right? Avriel, it went from what? I know Avriel like, Ashley, stop telling the story. I know, but I know you can afford it. But everybody can't afford it. What, hers went from $1,600 to $2,200, what was it, Avery? 1675 to 2200. Who can afford that? Look at me. Who can afford that? Right? We didn't think about when people were bidding up houses that they were going to taxes and their payment has doubled. Right? These people can't afford this. So craziness. And April's down there in Texas, and that's what's going to happen to a lot of people when they reassess these property taxes. When I saw people bidding up properties, I said, just wait. They're going to reassess at that higher price, and everybody's taxes are going to go up. These adjustable rates are adjusting. Everybody on a 2-1 buy down is at their full, mortgage payment price right now. I think it's going to be a lot of distress selling. A lot of people who are trying to get out of that house and trying to put it on the market. But right now, houses are unaffordable. So even if you're trying to hurry up and sell your house, you don't have a buyer who can buy it. And most people can't lower it low enough for somebody to buy it, right? You're going to have to short sale because you probably overpaid it for it, So it's AI's pretty to take over every market. How do you predict it will impact the real? Ooh, they're going to take over. AI is just, I don't know. I'm like, somebody make an app where you can do a title search that does title searches for you. I don't know. I guess eventually, I think how will AI take over real estate? I don't know if it'll take over. I'm sure it will impact, right? Everything's overpriced. We need a crash to clear the system, unfortunately. We do need a price correction. We do for sure need a price correction across most states. And I do think it's coming, right? I do think we are going to have a price correction for sure. For sure. Which will help people because homes are just unaffordable. I don't know. Do you think we'll get to the point with AI where people will just let you come in their house without a real estate agent, right? Because you can't buy real estate if AI has taken over all the jobs. What we talked about last night, they're going to put everybody on universal base income. What is that, universal base income? I wouldn't go for it. But some people will go for it, for sure. You know what I mean? If the country will give you a check, the government will give you a check each month. But it's not like they're going to give you a big check. They're just going to give you a check enough to cover your needs, right? You're not going to ever be able to get ahead. Look into the search app. This might be $1 billion idea. Look into the title search app. I'm telling you, Cynthia, somebody needs to come up with a title search app where you can put in the address and it'll run title for you. Man, all real estate investors would love that. Tell you who the real owner is, what's on title, what liens. Somebody come up with it. So my last 100 price info, real estate will be, let's see how it looks, fraction pricing, right? You will own nothing and be happy. The correction is here. Some people are just stubborn. You're right. And they just going to sit on the market. They're going to sit on the market. And their house is going to go stale. I don't know. But then it's a lot of people in foreclosure, right? Who are like, let me hurry up and sell. But, ain't nobody buying, right? It's not cheap enough. And don't try to outrun an auction. Don't try to outrun an auction. Call the bank. Talk to them. Talk to the bank, you guys. The banks are working with people. Do not try to outrun an auction because that is not the market we are in right now. And we're going into the holidays. So the market really dries up in the holidays because people don't want to move, right? It's the holidays. You don't want people in your house. So we're going to get a correction for sure. What was I about to show y'all? We were talking about auction properties. Let me turn around because y'all know it's almost time for us to go to bed. You know it is. Okay, y'all got the site. Y'all got the site. Everybody got the site. So go look at it. Click on trustee sales and it'll take you. These are not all the sites, but it is some of them, right? So I pulled a couple of houses, right? Because I was looking. Hold on. Let's go back to this month. This week. Okay, here we are. And so you can see if you're new here, this has the opening bids. It lets you know if it's been postponed, right? So we got some opening bids for next week. This is tomorrow. This is tomorrow. And then, of course, the big list is Tuesday. First Tuesday of the month. We've got these auction properties. I pulled some properties for us, you guys. for us to take a look at so I could be organized tonight. Let's see what we got. Here's one. Look. Y'all see when they bought it. Y'all see when they bought it. It's up for auction tomorrow. This is in Brunswick, Georgia. So it's up for auction on Tuesday. Y'all see when they bought it, right? It's still showing sold because it's so recent. Don't you? I hate that for people, right? You just hate for somebody to just buy a house and turn around and lose it. But there it is. It's up for auction on Tuesday. I'm trying to hold the camera so y'all can see. 3 beds, 2 baths. I was trying to see, but it doesn't look like a flip. It looks like somebody like bought it. You know what I mean? From what I can tell, that's what it looks like. Just bought it in 2023. Let's see. It looks like for $290 because it's still showing. Here's your chance to live in the beautiful, quaint neighborhood of Sherwood Forest. Blah, 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 blah. Come see it for yourself. I wonder if agents ever look and be like, dang it, that's my client. That was my doggone client. Oh, so they tried to sell it, didn't they? They tried to sell it. So they bought it in 2023. Everybody see this? Follow along. 2023 for $290. Then they put it on the market for $315. They was trying to get out of it. They was just trying to get out of it. Because if they bought it for $290, they trying to pay commissions. And that's it. Just trying to get enough to cover their commissions. They probably said, we can't afford this. Let's go and sell it. Then they lowered it to $307 in February of this year. Then April, they lowered it to $305. May, oh, y'all, hold on. You know I'm trying to do too much. There we go. And then April, $305. May, $304.9. Because they're trying to think we just bought it for $290. And if they did a FHA and only put down 3%, God forbid they did a 100% loan, then they really upside down. So May, 304, 3047, 3046, 3045. They lowering it by $100 every month because they don't have any room. Look at that. They lowered it by $100. 304, 8, 7, 6, 5. And then August, 304. And then they losing it on Tuesday. Damn. You hate to see that, don't you? You know what I mean? I feel like they, and who knows what happened? Who knows? Maybe somebody lost a job. Somebody could have died. You just never know in situations like that, right? And they was just trying to, I guess, get out of it what they put in it. But, and now they're up for auction on Tuesday. They probably having a restless night over there in their house. Here's another one. Beverly Hills. This one going up this week. I think this one goes on Wednesday. $8.6 million up for auction in Beverly Hills, you guys. So don't ever let anybody tell you that only hood properties go up for auction. Because big and small, they all will fall if you do not pay your mortgage. There was no rhyme with that one. I couldn't think of anything that rhyme with fall. The lender will come call. I can't think of that. Let's see if we can see when it was bought. Okay, so they had it for a minute. They bought it in 2015. And then they listed it for sale in 2017 for $9 million, 9.2, 9.2, 8.9, 8.9 in 2020. And then, no, it's sold in 2020. They just bought it. Never mind. They just bought it in 2020 for $8 million and about to lose it. I told you, everything going up for auction right now, they just bought it post-COVID. Everything we're seeing coming to the auction was purchased post-COVID. Can you purchase from the bank the date right after the auction? No, Regina. They ain't gonna give it to you, girly. No, ma'am. No, you're gonna have to wait. After it sells at auction, there's like a little period where they gotta fix it up, do the title, do all those kind of things, get in it, trash it out, you know, get the homeowners out of there, and then they'll put it back on as an REO property. Usually. How come like 82 people are in here and you only have 27 likes? Thank you, Scorpion. I guess y'all need to hit the like button if y'all are in here. You don't have to say anything, but you could at least hit the like button. It's new in the hole. Got it. This is live official. Okay. How do you become an agent for REO? There's a bunch of little certifications you can get. I think NAR just had a class to get certified. But you sign Equator. Go on equator.com, ResNet. Those are some sites that you can sign up as an... I'm thinking y'all can see the screen. Y'all looking at the side of my face. I'm sorry, y'all. Equator, ResNet. Those are some sites that you can sign up as an agent and let them know that you want to list REO properties. So ResNet, Equator, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but those are some of the popular ones for sure. And just go on there and register as an agent, and, you know, they might start sending you some. Here's another one in Beverly Hills, 90210. Can y'all see? Pre-foreclosure auction, $2.6 million is going up for auction. I'm trying to make sure y'all can see. You know, I'm trying to hold the camera. $2.6 million in Beverly Hills. Y'all can see. 2534 Hutton Drive. Hutton Drive, in case y'all trying to look. It's up for auction this week. It is not updated, that's for sure. It is definitely not updated. But there it is. Mid-century modern home with lofted ceilings, a large kitchen with a 2-car garage, perfectly situated on Hutton, close to Beverly Hills downtown. Whoop, there it is, and it is up for auction week. Is that the unpaid balance? Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Loan issued in 2020. Home in default of $49 million. Unpaid balance of 50. They must own a bunch of properties, right? This property was scheduled for foreclosure auction, blah 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 blah. Because auction dates, $53 million. How much was it worth? I thought it said it was only worth 2.6. You can't believe everything you see on here though. But maybe he had a bunch of properties. I don't know. Or maybe that's just not, they don't have the right unpaid principal amount. Because golly, you be like, come on and get this house. You can have it all. Keep the furniture. Don't worry about it. You can have it. I'll leave the keys. Don't worry about it. I won't be here when you get back. Golly. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I was going to say this. Maybe it is a typo, Kia. Maybe it's supposed to be $5 million, but 50. Golly, I don't know. Those rich people problems, aren't they? Cause goodness. Okay. But y'all check out this site for sure. Check this one out, and it's got some. We got some good opening bids here. We got some good opening bids. They probably bought a portfolio. That's what I was thinking. It's got to be more than one property in there. You know, I'll hop on PropWire and look and see. Hold on. You know how I would figure this out real quick, you guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll get on here real quick and figure out what's going on with that property. What was the address? Hutton, 2534 Hutton. If you're not familiar, you guys, I'm on PropWire.com. Y'all make sure you like this live, because I'm holding this phone in one hand, typing with the other, trying to make sure we can all figure out what's going. There it is, 2534 Hutton Drive. If this is your house, I'm sorry. I did not mean to put your business on blast. Absentee owners. Look, I'm all in their business. On live. On live. Indeed. In here. Okay, y'all, we're going to get off here before we get... Oh, yeah. They did a... Yeah. It must have been a portfolio or something, because look at that number right there. For sure. In 2020. So, thank you for putting in your like. I see y'all with the likes. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully y'all learned something. If you're not familiar, and then we're going to go to bed. If you're not familiar with PropWire, it's one of the sites that I really like, even though I hate that they changed it. They upgraded or did something to it. It's free. If you're used to PropStream is $99. PropWire is free. Free 99. Free. So you can go on here and you can search for it, because y'all are like, there's no foreclosures where I live. There's no blah, 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 blah. You can go on PropWire and you can put in an address, code, or APN. So those are drive for dollars. If you don't know what drive for dollars means, it means you drive down the street, you look for houses that may be abandoned, grass grown up, boarded up, right? PropStream is $99 a month. Yes, PropStream is $99 a month. PropWire is free a month. $0 a month on PropWire. And I feel like they both do the same. And you can skip trace on PropWire for 10 cents. I think PropStream, you skip trace for like 20 cents. Or what is it? I don't know on PropStream. I can't remember because I be on PropWire. So anyway, if you're driving for dollars, those of you who do that, you write down the addresses of houses that you're interested in. You can come in here and put the address, like y'all just saw me do that Beverly Hills house, and put it in here and skip trace the homeowner. Now, if you don't have addresses and there's a particular, I'm going to give y'all homework, like I give everybody homework. Go on here and put your zip code in. Put your zip code in, and let's do Atlanta, right? You can put your zip code. We'll do Atlanta so I can show you how this works. Atlanta, and then you click on filters, and you click by lead types, and then it breaks down all these lead types: abandoned, auctions, bankruptcies. If you want the premium ones, you got to pay for it, but we on the free side, right? And you can scroll down to out-of-state owners, pre-probate, pre-foreclosures. Look, he done added sub two, tired landlords, vacant homes, vacant lots, all of them out of state. So you can filter it by whatever ones you want. They even got desperate, not even tired no more. They desperate at this point. So I filtered it by Atlanta pre-foreclosures, right? I already did that. And then let's see how many it gives us. 247, ladies and gentlemen. And you can click on here and you can find, see, the new one don't show pictures. Mine don't ever show any pictures. But you can go through and filter it by pre-foreclosures, and it'll show you all the pre-foreclosures where you live. So your homework is put in your zip code, filter it by pre-foreclosures, and see if any of your neighbors are in foreclosure. And then what you could do is you can click on the owner, and then you can hit skip trace, and boom. And for 10 cents, you can get all their information. Lead with love. Don't be harassing these people. Don't be harassing these people. Okay? And you can send them a letter. You can text them. You can put a message in a bottle. You can send them a penguin with a letter on it. But then that's how you could skip trace. And it's 200 and what would I say? 247 people right here in Atlanta. You can also filter it by property types: single family, condo, multifamily, mobile home, land, commercial. Whoop-de-doo. And so that's how you can do it. And that's for those of you who are trying to reach out to people in pre-foreclosure. You find your little list of people who are in pre-foreclosure. You can put their address in there, and then you can reach out to them. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. Yes. And that's proper. You can save a list, and you can, here's Miami-Dade, Florida. We got it filtered by pre-foreclosures. Damn, I know it ain't 2,986 in Miami-Dade, is it? Miami is on that list, isn't it? Hold on. Pre-foreclosures. It cannot be 2,900. It is 2,986. Pre-foreclosure in Miami-Dade. Golly. There's one. Foreclosure in Miami. Absentee owner, flip properties, low equity, pre-foreclosure in Miami. Not 2,000, 3,000 properties in foreclosure in Miami-Dade. Golly. I believe it. Do they skip trace? Yes. So, Francisca, you just click on owner. and you hit skip trace, and I could pay 10 cents, and I would get all their information, their phone numbers, their email, and all that. There you go. Golly. Look at me. Golly. Miami. I might get my beach house for $22.17. See, a lot of them don't have the pictures. Because I hate that they upgrade. Look, I can't even get a picture. It used to have pictures. Tell him to bring back the old system. Literally no pictures. Give me a picture. Somebody. I can't get any pictures. But these are all properties. I mean, if you're not concerned about the picture, it does tell you the address, and all these are in foreclosure. It looks like a lot of condos, honestly. Y'all, I can't get a picture of nothing anymore. Do y'all prop wire? Everybody on prop wire? Is this how it does with y'all? Like no pictures anymore showing up since they changed the system. But y'all can go to like 7000 West 2nd Lane, and it tells you, you know, how much equity. Okay, Regina. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. See, they got $295,000 worth of equity in their house. Now, don't take these numbers for gold. Okay, because a lot of these numbers might be off, but it does tell you if they got liens and if it's the first mortgage. Okay, Brian, thank y'all, because I was like, it can't be me. Okay, there's one with a picture, finally. So that's how, you know, a lot of people don't have equity, honestly. Everyone's like, everybody got equity. No, they do not. No, they don't. A lot of people don't have equity. And it'll tell you, like, the history of the house, when they bought it. They bought it. Golly, did they just buy it? They can't be in foreclosure already. Unless they like refinanced it. Maybe that's what, yeah, because they were down here. Oh, yeah, they were down here. I was about to say they can't be. They probably refinanced it. It looks like they probably refinanced it. And they probably in foreclosure because they refinanced it. But there's PropWire, you guys. And you can filter it by anything you like. Put in your city, county, zip code. Whoop-de-whoop. I encourage you all to put in your zip code and put in pre-foreclosure and see why Mr. Johnson ain't been cutting his grass, because he probably in foreclosure. So a lot of people are like, I didn't even know my neighbor was in foreclosure. I know. So put in your zip code up there, filter it by whichever auctions. But I say do pre-foreclosures and see, you know what I mean? And just see what's going on in your neighborhood. Maybe you can help them out. You know what I mean? So there's PropWire, everybody. PropWire. Don't say that I didn't teach you anything. And you can skip trace. You can skip trace for 10 cents. And you can reach out to the people and offer your assistance, everybody. I feel like Minnesota, I feel like it's more that don't have pictures than it used to be. It's more things with no pictures than with pictures now. It seems like to me. And then that's how you do it. And you can just put in any address, city, county, state, zip code. Whoop, there it is, right? So if you were to be like on auction.com, right? Okay, we're on auction.com if you didn't know where we were. And we'll look at foreclosure, because foreclosures are auctions, right, that are coming up. I didn't put anything in. Let's do Atlanta, because that's where Clark is. Well, Clark's in Georgia. I don't know. Clark, are you in Atlanta? Atlanta, Georgia. And we can filter it by, we already filtered it by foreclosures. Okay, good. Y'all are with me. Agree on the pictures. Yeah. Okay, so these are all going up for sale on Tuesday, because Atlanta, Georgia auctions the first Tuesday of the month. So what you could do, opening bid. Don't ever say that I did not teach y'all anything, okay? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you really want to learn, jump into the mentorship. We have one more mentorship that starts on the 22nd. But y'all can come in now if you want to. And you don't have to pay anything extra. We meet on Wednesdays at 7:30. So I'm going to show you something really quick. So like I said, these people are in foreclosure. Now it's kind of too late to reach out to these people, right? So 5688 Baffin Road. Because y'all like, how do you reach out to them, Ashley? What did I just say? You put the address in here, Baffin Road. There they are. Are they on the market? They are on the market. Y'all better call them. Y'all should have made an offer to them. When did they buy it? In 2020? Of course they bought it in 2020. Of course they did. Of course they did. Because that's all that's at auction right now. Is people who bought post 2020. right? So I'm sure people have been calling, but there's not enough room. There's no room if they just bought it. You can't even help. Look, you can't even help people. But anyway, if they did have room, 5688, where was that? Baffin Road. Here I am. You would go, but they on the market, so agents, y'all be in your feelings, so you better not call the homeowner, because the agent gonna be ready to go off on you. But if they weren't on the market, you could call Anthony. I hope Anthony not on this live. I'm sorry, Anthony. If you are, just don't say nothing. Skip trace, get the information, and reach out. That makes sense to everybody? Says 23. Was it sold in 23? I see the last one sale date is 2020. I see listing history. Oh, you're right, didn't it? Sold in 23. And it's up for foreclosure on Tuesday. Damn. For 410, you have no room. No room. You can't even make them an offer. No room. You hate to see it, but that's all we seeing right now. That is all we are seeing coming down the auction. And they trying to sell it. What they buy for? Clearly my memory is horrible. 402 with a conventional. So maybe they put down 20%. And now they have it listed at 435. They don't have any room. After they pay that agents, look at the equity. Negative. On 2023, you can't do anything with a house you just bought in 2023. You don't have any equity. You don't have any room. You can't do nothing with it. You owe that whole loan. When it goes up for auction, the opening bid is probably going to be somewhere close to this number, and it's going to go back to the bank. It's not going to sell at auction. They just bought it. The opening bids are too high. They got on trying to, yep. I try to teach y'all a lot. I hope y'all take it and use it accordingly and not just watching me. So hopefully some of y'all will take what I'm showing. I was on here one night and I was showing properties of an auction in Atlanta, the condos. And a guy reached out to me. He said, the property you showed last night, I think he said he reached out to him because he was looking at a condo in the building, right, or in the area, and he was making an offer on it. And I showed the condo that was going up for auction, like going in foreclosure, and he reached out to them instead and ended up getting that one that was in foreclosure for a better price than what he was going to purchase the other one for. So some of y'all do listen to me. So I do try to teach y'all a lot. I do try, and hopefully you use it and govern yourselves accordingly. You know what I mean? People now, you can work some miracles, is what I would say. That one's canceled, but I'm gonna turn it back around. But I encourage all of you to, hopefully you leave this live with something to do. If nothing but get on PropWire. It's free. It's free. And put in your zip code. Absolutely. Always lead with love. I just said that. These people who are facing auctions are probably in a bad mental state. Maybe some of them are. You know what I mean? So lead with love, compassion. Don't harass them. Don't intimidate them. Don't bully them. That is not what I teach. Y'all know that is not. Look at my hair. Like I just crawled up out from under a rock. I don't teach that. I teach lead with love. Lead with love. That's what I try to do. It's what I try to do when I'm on here on these lives with y'all. Lead with love. So, I gave you the websites. Go do that. If you want to join the mentorship, the link is down below. It's the last one for 2025. We meet on Wednesdays, but you can join now if you want to. Thank you, Danita. I love you. We miss you. I send you the link every week to come to the meeting. So that is what I teach, how to reach out, how to find them, what to say when you talk to them. We have been role playing the last 2 weeks. We have been role playing, so it's been really good. So the link's down below. I hope y'all do make money. I hope y'all make lots of money. I hope y'all help homeowners get good deals, good investments that make you lots of money, lots of residual deals, and just keep your head above water, right? We're just going to keep swimming. We're just going to keep swimming, and do not overpay for houses. Do not overpay. If you are a buyer right now, negotiate. Negotiate. I don't care. We don't guilt buy. That's what I tell y'all in the mentorship. We do not guilt buy. If you were reaching out to homeowners, do not guilty buy. Okay? It doesn't matter. If those numbers don't work, don't you buy it. When you go to the auction, if the numbers don't work, don't you buy it. Okay? If you are a buyer, negotiate. If your agent does not want to negotiate, get you another agent. Okay? We are not trading headaches, right? We are not trading headaches with a homeowner that may be overpaid or just bought in 2023 and they can't lower their price. That is not your problem. Okay? Everybody understand that? That's not your problem. You just say, okay, I understand. This is what's best for me and my budget. Because trust and believe, if you get behind on your mortgage, your real estate agent, your lender, your home inspector, your appraisal, appraiser, is not going to help you pay your mortgage. Okay? So remember that. So if the payment does not fit in your budget, don't buy it. Okay? It don't matter. It does not matter. If they won't lower that price, if they won't negotiate, and a lot of sellers can't, right? We just looked at some. A lot of people can't lower their price, right? Because they just bought. That is not your fault either. Okay? We're not trading headaches. This is not wife swap. This is not mortgage swap, right? They in a bad place and now you're going to buy and you're going to be in a bad place. You just say no. You wait it out. You wait until it's affordable. Wait till these houses come down. The prices come down. You just wait. Okay? A lot of places it's cheaper to rent right now. And you would never hear real estate agents say that. But a lot of places it is cheaper to rent right now. You don't want to catch a falling knife, right? You buy houses when they're appreciating, right? When a house value is going up, then you buy it. You jump in right here. Look, I'm trying to do this on the thing. When house values are going up, boom, that's when you buy, right? So when you buy it and it keeps going up. Home values are doing this, right? You don't want to jump in, boom, and you don't want to catch a falling knife. Okay? That's not what you're trying to do. If it does not work for your budget, if you can hold on to where you are, these jobs looking a little shaky. These jobs looking a little shaky. So sometimes you might just have to hold what you got. Okay? 60,000 people backed out of contracts. I think last month, at least the last 3 months, we've been averaging 60,000 people have backed out of contracts. Right? If it's not in the budget, once they send you that settlement statement and you like, oh no, I can't pay that. I would rather you lose your earnest money and maybe the friendship of your real estate agent, if that's what it is, and keep your sanity and keep your budget and keep your credit and keep you some money, right? You be like, I can't afford this, right? Because when it closes, it's going to be between you and God and your mortgage payment. So if it's not a good time to buy a house, just wait. I'm waiting. You can come over here with me and just wait. We gonna wait. Unless it's a great deal, we just gonna hold on a little longer over here, right? No flat screen TVs. Don't y'all buy no flat screen TVs for Christmas. Don't buy them, okay? No flat screens. That's all I got, you guys. That's it. It's 8:48. Make smart decisions. That's all I got. I'm on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. Go follow me on Instagram. I post a lot on there and in my stories. If you're going to the auction, good luck. Stay in your budget. Stay in your budget. Stay in your budget. Stay in your budget. If you're going to the auction. That's all I got, you guys. Stay safe. Hope you'll have a good night. I'll come back again soon. Subscribe to the channel so you'll know when I come back, okay? But that's all I got. Go be prosperous. Make lots of money and come back and tell me about it. Okay, you guys. Good night. Good night.